Now that you've finished your Utah law segments of your required 120 hours, it's time to talk a little bit about a key concept review. In this review, we're going to look at some of the things you need to know for dang sure in order to pass the exam the first time, but also key concepts that are important to your practice of real estate. Remember, you are issued a state license by the state of Utah to sell real estate anywhere in the state of Utah. But with that state license comes responsibilities to abide the law. So it's important that you know these concepts. Let's start with the discussion of the real estate division. The real estate division is there to administer your license. They're the people that are full-time state employees that are there to serve the public, which of course includes you. But as you receive your real estate license, understand the responsibilities that goes with that. And that is to obey the state laws and the rules and regulations of the real estate division. The real estate division includes the staff that I've been discussing and also the real estate commission. Together, they work with administering all the rules and the laws as it applies to your real estate license. So, there is a director of the real estate division who is a full-time state employee and can have no conflicts of interest. They work under the supervision of the director of the Department of Commerce, but they are appointed and serve at the pleasure of the governor. They're responsible for preparing the budget and for hiring and firing people at work in the real estate division, such as secretaries and others that are all full-time government employees of the real estate division. Working with the real estate division is also the real estate commission. The real estate commission members are appointed by the governor and approved by the state senate. There are 5 commissioners total, 4 of which have a real estate license or background, and 1 which is called the commissioner at large, which cannot have a current real estate license. We call this 5th commissioner the commissioner at large, and the commissioner at large must be a member of the general public. In the past, the commissioner at large many times has been someone from an affiliated industry like a mortgage broker or perhaps someone that works at a title company. Many times they've been lawyers as well. But that comprises the real estate commission. The real estate commission serves 4-year staggered terms, and they cannot serve 2 consecutive terms back to back. However, they can serve a 4-year term and then be absent for a while and then come back onto commission later. They must come from 5 different counties. Usually there's always one from Salt Lake County, usually Utah County, sometimes Weber County, and sometimes Summit County, which doesn't leave a whole lot of slots available for other counties in the state. Many times we have commissioners from Carbon County and quite often from Washington County, but each member of the commission must come from a different county in the state of Utah. If there's 5 of them, 3 constitute a quorum. They select their own chairman, which usually is the person that's been there the longest, but not necessarily. And that person chairs all the meetings of the commission. This is not a state employee type job, but they are paid a per diem for their expenses while they're on real estate commission business. They have a responsibility for updating and prescribing the content of the exam. They also create standards of conduct for real estate licensees and also for individuals involved with property management. They create rules for the proper handling of funds and record keeping. They also decide what has to be in the pre-licensing curriculum that you're taking to become a real estate licensee. And they also have the authority to decide what topics would be appropriate for CE credit even after you have your license when you get CE credit for renewing of your license. And they advise the real estate director on other matters that affect the real estate industry as a whole. Okay, it's important to know that the commission create and regulate rules, not laws. The legislature creates the laws, but the commission makes the rules. The laws set down by the state legislature are kind of like the broad strokes. They're the things that must happen, like you must be a certain age, you have to have a certain number of hours. What comprises those 120 hours is pretty much up to the real estate commission. So they do the fine tuning of it. But the commission enforce the rules And the courts enforce the laws. The commission makes the rules, but the legislator makes the laws. And that's an important distinction you need to know. You know, I think you have a good idea and flavor after watching and listening to the course that you understand why you need to get a real estate license. For example, you need to get a license to sell or purchase real estate for someone else when you're expecting to receive a commission or valuable consideration for that service. Negotiating rents, collecting rents, writing and presenting contracts, those types of things are things and activities when you're getting paid for these things and activities that require a real estate license. But many times it's also important for the exam to understand what the exemptions are. There are real estate activities you can participate in and not need a real estate license. For example, when you're acting on your own behalf, you can certainly sell your own property. You can certainly buy property on your own. And you can certainly manage your rentals if you want to, and you do not need a license if it's your own property. If in isolated situations you're acting under the authority of a power of attorney, for example, your spouse is out of town and important real estate documents need to be signed, whether it's a contract or other type documents that require a signature, but your spouse is out of town, but you have their power of attorney. If you do that, do you need a license? Because it's you're signing something for someone else, but because you have a power of attorney, it's okay to do that. In fact, you don't even have to be married. You could stand in for your brother or your mother or someone else who couldn't be there to sign documents at a particular time, but yet you had their power of attorney.